This conference will now be recorded.
Please start the session.
All right, very good morning and good evening, everyone. So, so welcome to Career IT, and so here we are for so a small demonstration on DevOps training, and myself is Raghu, and I'm the trainer with Career IT for DevOps, and so I have been working in IT industry from past 10 years, and I have almost like 8 years, close to 8 years as an experience as a trainer. So I do part-time trainings apart from my job, and almost like delivered 30 plus batches from past almost like 4 years in DevOps and including AWS, and almost like 80 plus batches on different technologies in my whole trainer career. And I'm currently working with an organization. It's an 100-year plus organization, which is a software-based company, and I'm working as a lead architect over there. And so I even work for giant organizations like Oracle and JP Morgan. So in a bigger infrastructure. Okay, so this is pretty basic intro from my side. And so before getting started, actually this session, so we have a couple of requests from our side. So you need to please share your email address and your mobile number over the chat so that organizer will come back to you and provide the proper details. So that is one thing. And the second thing is a request from my side. So please, if you have any questions, I would ask you to hold your questions till the end, and I would definitely answer your questions. But if we go ahead and interrupt the session, so that is going to be, I mean, other people actually will get disturbed. So I will ensure that your most of your questions will be explained or clarified during my presentation. If you have something else, definitely we'll talk at the ending. So that is a request from my side, and I think we're already at 10 minutes. We can go ahead and start. Okay, so let's go and talk about today's agenda. So we are here to understand DevOps, but I would like to you know take you through a couple of other slides also. So before DevOps, what was happening, and after DevOps, are basically you'll understand the problems, and then you'll understand what is DevOps, and then we'll move on to the tools which we are going to discuss. Okay, so that is what the agenda for today's session. All right, so let's get it started. So I hope everyone is here for a $1 million question. So what is DevOps? Okay, so probably we have seen the market from almost like 6 to 7 years in this particular area. So people are pretty aware of what is DevOps, right? So at least every one of you over here, so definitely would have some idea on what is DevOps. Okay, but to correct you who are being misguided, or so whoever is already new, would like to tell in a proper way. So what is DevOps? I would like to take you to a particular a business a particular business area inside the companies. So inside companies, like you have to take especially the software based product based companies, and they do develop the product. Okay, so that particular development in the product, we usually call it as a software development lifecycle, and it is SDLC. Okay, so here inside this particular SDLC, so there are different phases will be there to develop the product. Okay, as you can see on the right side, so it's a very generic diagram for SDLC. So you have to first gather the requirements. So before making the product, and you design, and so you make the product, and you test it, and you deliver the product to the customer. So that is, or you sell the product to the customer. So that is what the software companies would do, right? So I mean, to make this particular product, so in SDLC, so they usually will go for different methodologies which are available out there, and so a couple of them which are famous. So will be a couple of them I have made a note of here. Okay, so based on their requirement, the developers would pick up this particular model, or architects will be there out there, and so the management side, so they probably will pick up, so we'll follow this model. This will follow this model, and out of that there are very you know um, much models are available, but highly used models are, earlier it was waterfall model. Okay, and eventually, so a market has been tried different models. Waterfall became successful, and finally, so one of the methodology now everyone is trying to use over here is agile methodology. So picking a right tool for your requirement, that's all. So that's the reason actually I have kept a tools diagram on the right side. So it's a tool help them to achieve their particular goal of making the product. So that's what the whole requirement is. Now, so coming to the so I have even highlighted the two models actually here. So waterfall model and agile model, right? So let's talk about those two. Why? Because those two are the only famous models available from pretty long time. Okay, at least the waterfall model from pretty long time, and agile after that. So in waterfall model, so you have certain advantages and disadvantages. So what are the advantages is you will be having a specific deliverables. Okay, you will be clearly knowing what you are actually delivering, and you will have enough time to deliver. Fix your bugs, and you go to the product. You go into the market as a stable product. So that's how the companies used to so deliver the products. You take Microsoft. So you take Microsoft, so Windows operating system. So you can understand that as a you can understand that as the product which is made through waterfall model all the time. Even still, they are into some part of waterfall. Okay, they're not complete agile. So now, so coming to this, so they know what they're actually delivering, and usually you'll not be having much bugs in while delivering the product. And if the product is stable and tested in so many phases, beta, alpha versions, and they deliver the product. Okay, so that's how it is. And also you'll have ample amount of time for plannings, and you'll be having well-defined stages, so that your deliverable, you have a different definitely the scope of your delivery. So what you're actually delivering. But there are certain problems also which are dragging these waterfall model. So one is very expensive. So money matters for everyone. So even for a company, so money matters. So that is what in the era we are. Okay, so we are in an era of automation, and everyone is trying to save a lot of money. Now, coming to the waterfall model, it is too expensive. Why it is too expensive is, so because the name of the method tells you it's a waterfall model. You can see some diagram here, probably might not be clear, but still step by step, and it is going down, okay, like a water from a mountain top to bottom. Okay, so here the problem over this particular model is, if any of this particular model any of this particular stage, you feel that you want to change something, you have to go back and start again. So that means so you have to be very careful on so what you are making, or in the design phase actually you have to be very clear, and you have to set the scope. And that's, if you just go out of the scope, it becomes so much time to again come back to that particular phase. So it takes a lot of time, and a lot of time leads to a lot of investment, right? So companies has to invest on the development in order to get the product, and it is taking years to complete. And that is really, and end of the day, you don't know whether your product is going to be a successful one or not. Okay, and also as I mentioned, so there is no backstage. Very difficult to go back at any stage after once it is finished. Let's say you completed your design and thought of making some new feature, and you have to go back and you have to mess up with a lot of code, and you have to fix it and again come back to all the phases. So that is how. Okay, so Windows operating system is the best example for waterfall model. Whoever is being aware of Windows operating system from past 10 years at least, not 10 years, even more. So used to have an operating system still Windows XP. Okay, so till there, you never used to get an update. In Windows XP, you never used to get an update. You only get a service pack, and you just install the service pack. That is what we used to do earlier. There is no updates. But today, it is completely different. So Windows, every week, every month, not probably every week, that depends, every month or 2 months, we're getting a major update. Okay, a lot of fixes they are doing, or a lot of features they are adding, okay, to stabilize their product, right? So yeah, so that's how so companies like Microsoft can afford of making a product, such big product, it is already a successful product. They are making the versions still, through waterfall model, and it's a big product, by the way. Anyhow, okay, it takes time anyhow. Okay, so but understand about the small scale companies, like, you want to go for a startup, and let's say I have an idea, I want to start a company, and I want to start a company. If I go for a waterfall model, I have to, I have to invest a lot of amount on my, the person I'm going to recruit, and I have to give them salaries for years. They make the product, and I finally go into the market. Someone might like me or might not like me. I don't know the business scope, right? So yet, because unless until I go into the market, okay. So yeah, so it is going to be a very difficult thing. So that's the reason. So waterfall model, okay, the preference to the waterfall model has been slowly went down, because there is another model which came into the market, and that particular one is agile methodology. So back in 2008, 2009, so the agile methodology has been introduced, and this model tells you, as you can see in the diagram, so you'll be having every 2 to 4 weeks, or 2 weeks in general, okay, you're going to make an update. So what agile method tells in SDLC is basically, if you want to make a product, let's say coming back to me, I have a requirement, and I have an idea, and I want to make a product out of it. Okay, so now, okay, I don't need to involve so many people to develop that. I can just go for one or couple, and we can start making the product. And basically we'll sell the idea. First of all, we're going to sell the idea. So I mean, selling the ideas, if you have seen the successful people in IT industry, so Oracle guy, so which is Oracle CEO, ex-CEO, okay, so Larry Ellison, so he's the first person to, okay, so to follow a kind of an agile methodology, okay, so because of his vision. Why? Because in Oracle database, okay, so people were expecting so many features at that particular time, okay, those were not there. And this guy went ahead and and provided a demonstration saying that, okay, so this feature is available in my product, and yet that product is not available, that feature is not available. Okay, then he grabbed some customers, he tied up with some customers, and he got some investment, and then he invested, and he made the product successful. Okay, so that's how, so the companies are doing now. So coming to the agile, okay, so if you have an idea, you should be starting marketing your idea. In parallel, you're going to develop the product. And while you're developing the product, you don't need to wait for years. You start releasing your product into the market every 2 weeks with an update. Every 2 weeks or 4 weeks, depends upon your business requirements and customers approach, you can design. So there is no specific process in agile saying that, okay, you have to just go for definitely for 2 weeks. No, it all depends upon the business. It's a best practices, I can say. Agile is all about the best practices. Okay, so now coming to the agile. So the agile will tell you, let's say you thought of making 10 features in a product. Don't deliver 10 features at a time. So start with one and go into the market, take the feedback from the customer, whether they're okay or not. And so in parallel, you fix that particular feedback issues, and in parallel you come up with the new feature. So it's all cycle. Agile is cycle. Okay, it's a never-ending process. And the best example, every time I talk about agile, the best example I talk about is WhatsApp. The WhatsApp back in 2008, 2009, 2010, the idea of WhatsApp is only to send a message over the data. That is a simple idea for them. But today, does the WhatsApp have the same thing? No, they have enhanced so many features. Day by day, day by day, day by day, they are just adding the features. Continuous development is happening there because they have adapted agile methodology. Okay, and eventually companies has been moving into agile methodology because it gives a complete business scope. Okay, so what customer is needed? Okay, you are making a product and it doesn't suit for it doesn't suit for the exact requirement. Earlier companies used to so look for workarounds. Okay, so let's say I can give an example. Let's say I want to take a database. So I have so multiple databases available there. So let's say I have Oracle database, you have IBM DB2. Now I want to take one of the product. Okay, so but both doesn't have the feature I'm looking for. So then what I have to do, I have to look for an alternative, not in the database perspective. Okay, I have to go for only those two people. I don't have any option at all. Okay, I have to go with those two people, and the way what I'm using, I used to tune myself. Okay, I mean, as a customer, I used to adjust myself. Okay, but that is not the way the market is happening today. So now, if you go for a company, I mean, if you just as a company you're developing a product and you go to the customer and he's $1 million customer to you or $1 billion customer to you, you have to change something. Okay, on your side. So even though that is not in your scope, you have to include it and you have to do it. Okay, for an example, so for an instance, I can tell one of our recent example. So as a company, so we have hosted complete our platform into Amazon Web Services in my present working company. So now our sales team has been approached to one of the company called as Walmart, and so they presented everything, their our products, so they are very happy and they want to take it. And and once the business discussions are happening, so coming to the technical discussion, so they have mentioned so how our product is good. So then they have shown that we are using Amazon Web Services. Okay, so as you are using Amazon Web Services, as we are using Amazon Web Services, okay, so and Walmart is a rival to Amazon in e-commerce business. Okay, and they said no, right? So then what I'm supposed to do is, okay, so I had to what the sales team is supposed to say when that's $1 billion company, right? And not $1 billion, basically it's a $1 billion revenue even to our company. No, it's more, I mean, it's $1 billion, but still even the revenue which we are going to get is also $1 billion. So now our complete business scope is changed. So we promise that we will move our platform from Amazon Web Services to Google, and we are in the process of migrating it. And most probably in next 2 quarters the migration will be completed and the customer will be with us. Okay, so that's how, okay, the business is, based on the demand of the customer, you are changing your product, you're changing your plan and things like that. So that helps you in getting the more customers. Okay, so that's how, okay, I mean, that is how the business are running. So now agile methodology, the feedback is very important, and every time you're going to get some or other update in your mobile phones. Why are you getting some or other updates from mobile phones? Basically is so everyone is using agile methodology. So they take a lot of feedback from you, understand whether it is working. So every time if you observe, every one or other application definitely will ask you the feedback. Okay, so always about hearing these, right? So based on your feedback, so they take those feedbacks and they will apply those particular fixes to the product, and I'll ensure the customer is happy. Okay, and it is working for both the sides. It is working on the customer perspective, it is working on the development perspective, and agile transformation has become so much in market. And every company has been moving to agile methodology now, almost been done, but still there are big enterprise companies, so still transforming their applications into agile. Okay, so that is what the importance of agile methodology. So today it is agile. Okay, so whenever you go for this development side, you understood that is they are using some methodology, whether it is waterfall or agile. So they're using a couple of models. Now, as a I mean, to deliver the product, so the customer will not directly deliver the product, so there are some other teams actually who is going to deliver the product. Okay, so now what all those teams are there are is if you are using the at least I can just say this way. So if you are using waterfall model and agile model, and if you are using for if you are using the operations teams which are using for waterfall model, so the people started using this way. So they are waterfall model, they were waterfall model, and now they are agile model. Okay, on the development perspective. Now there are some teams actually which are sitting out there to deliver the product to the customer. Okay, so that teams, okay, so the companies have started using the same teams for agile methodology also. Okay, companies, so on the development perspective, they just transformed and started the new projects into agile. And the teams, they have used the same the same approach, the same workflow they are using in other teams. Now over a period of time, so after 3-4 years at least, I can say, the agile has started, so back in 2008 2009. And after using it for a couple of years, they are actually struggling. Okay, so using the same teams which were used for waterfall model and using for agile methodology, they are actually so facing a lot of issues. And Accenture as a company, so these 3 points actually, which are I have brought it over here, so has been highlighted by Accenture in one of the recent conferences which they have conducted. So Accenture cons. So I have took those 3 points, what they have went ahead and surveyed with their customer, and they found out 3 points actually, which is causing the problems using the same teams in waterfall model, in agile model. Okay, so first thing is more time. Okay, so these operations team, whichever is used to take the code from the developer and deliver it to the customer, there are certain teams, and these teams are actually taking so much time, okay, in so in testing that particular product and building. So there are 3 to 4 teams actually which sits in this particular area, so which are build and release guys. Okay, we used to compile that particular code whichever is made by the developer. So there used to be a team called as build and release team, and there used to be a team called as testing team, QA team. And QA team usually definitely take a lot of time to test the product. And also you have sysadmins, database admins, middleware admins are who host your application onto the server. So as an example, you can take you're accessing google.com. The google.com is an application hosted somewhere on the server, and server is not one, definitely there are more. Okay, you take amazon.com website, so it is hosted on some servers, right? So the persons who actually host that particular application on the server is called as middleware team on the application side. And to run your middleware, you should be definitely having a sysadmin. So you should have a proper sysadmin to maintain your server up and running. Then only you can run your application, right? And every application requires a database and database admin. So there are 5 teams altogether: middleware team, and QA team, and middleware team, and sysadmin, and database admin. So these 5 teams in general, okay, work individually to deliver the product to the customer. And while delivering, so they're taking a lot of time in testing the product, in building that particular application and all. Okay, so that is what is main concern. Okay, and the next one is manual efforts. And manual efforts are basically due to lot of manual release of software. Let's say I have 100 servers out there, and 100 servers out there, and if I would like to deliver the new application, we usually used to do a manual efforts. Okay, sometime back I used to work on one of the platform companies, so which is Coney Labs. Okay, there we used to have a Southwest Airlines, which is one of the biggest airlines from USA. And so that particular application we used to host, I mean, a mobile based ticket booking, okay, back in 2010 2011. Okay, so that time Android was pretty new. Okay, and yeah, that's fine. So Android and iPhones were there and pretty new to the most of the people. So we have a decent load onto that particular. And what I mean to say is we have a decent load. We almost have 64 instances which are running for that particular only mobile application. Now, whenever we are going to get any update, okay, so then what we usually do is we schedule a particular time, and in that particular time, we just we just drop that particular website and say that site is under maintenance or application is under maintenance. You cannot go ahead and book a tickets, and at that particular time, so the maximum number of engineers should be available, and they takes a bunch of servers and they'll deploy it manually. So I go ahead and went ahead and provided a solution to do it automated way, and the management is resisting that particular one. So because so they feel automation is not good. Okay, and they have their business reasons probably. Okay, so yeah, so eventually what you'll be losing is, okay, the customer what trust you'll be losing, and so customer will not be getting satisfied. Eventually the product will go to the other teams, other companies. So now, okay, you're doing a lot of manual efforts, and today you're seeing any website went down? Probably no. So you're seeing some or other, the small applications, but probably you'll not see most of the applications going down. Okay, so there are a lot of different things happening in the back end, so which we'll talk about more in the sessions. So there are a lot of mature deployments happening there in the market. So we have some blue green concepts majorly, and we'll talk about those things. And but whatever the problem over here is, people used to do manually. Yes, used to do manually. Okay, so that's a very big problem. And other thing is, so cultural differences. Okay, everyone has their own value. So you go to the sysadmin and say that, hey, as a middleware guy, let's say, and you know the solution, and you go to the sysadmin and say that because they have the access, and you probably need to talk to them. In companies, you have to follow the process. Okay, and he will say that, okay, so I'll not do this unless I get an approval, and I will do only at this particular point of time. Okay, or the SLA tells me that, after till 7 days I can fix this particular issue. I'll not do it immediately. So because their scope is different and the middleware guys scope is different, so that was a another problem actually happening. So these are three major points Accenture came up, and so has delivered. Has delivered to their customers, saying that yes. So these are the problems actually happening, and because of these, your product delivery is getting slow. Okay, and eventually every company is following. Is facing the same issues, and which led into another model of managing these particular operations, which it becomes a DevOps. Okay, which is a development operations. Okay, so that five teams whatever are there can will be merged, and so kept under has been merged and kept under as one team. So now they are calling it as DevOps team. So one team operations. So there was no there is no cross differential values, because everyone is a single team. So they cannot say that I will not do that, and everyone has to do everything. So now let's say I'm basically from a sysadmin background, so I went ahead and did the middleware, and I went ahead and did some database things, right? So, and went ahead and did a lot of API testing, related things also. So I cannot resist and say that I'll not do this. You have to. Okay, you have to look out of the box, and that is what the scope now. Okay, so now what is DevOps is, so it's an operations team which take care of development related operations. Okay, nothing more than that. And so it is the statement from Amazon Web Services. If you just put what is DevOps, and AWS will give you a statement. I just got that particular statement and pasted here. And so DevOps is a combination of cultural philosophies, practices, and tools. Tools is important. Okay, that increases an organization's ability to deliver applications and services at a very high velocity. Okay, you need to understand. So to want to deliver the deliver the application in a very fast manner. Okay, with minimal downtime. Okay, so that is what the major DevOps scope is basically. Okay, and it improves products at a faster pace than organizations using traditional software development and infrastructure management process. You understood the statement? So it's a faster than organizations using traditional software development and infrastructure management process. Okay, earlier we are using waterfall model, and we are having a different operations method, and okay, so it didn't work out with Agile, because Agile, everything is going to be very fast. Okay, the development should be very fast, and the delivery has to be very fast, and development happens every day, and the delivery has to happen every day. Okay, so that is what the scope is. And if you ever observed actually a DevOps symbol on the left side I have given, it's a infinite symbol. Okay, on the left side development will do, and operations on the right side will do, and so it's continuous. It's a never-ending process. So development will deliver to operations, and operations, once they are done, so they will update the development, and both work together. Okay, so to release the products in a very fast manner. Okay, so that is what is DevOps. Okay, so this is the first agenda point actually which we have covered. You probably got some basic idea on the business perspective what is DevOps. Okay, on the technical perspective, so what is DevOps and what you do as a DevOps engineer inside the company. So you are going to do majorly 3 points. You have to ensure your operations are smoother. Whatever the operations you do, either you update the server or you update the product, whatever you do, it has to happen in a very smooth manner with zero to downtime. So that is what the scope is. operations has to be very smoother. Okay, no hurdles, no outages. Okay, so kind of thing, you plan everything whatever you want, doesn't matter, but it has to be smooth. Okay, that is what the idea. And whereas the next one is automation. Okay, your scope is completely automation. Automation is the key factor to make the operation smoother. Without automation, you cannot make your operation smoother. Okay, so whatever you want, you use tool, use scripting, doesn't matter. Okay, so it has to be in an automated way. And the next one is on the infrastructure point of view. So if you want to make your applications up and running, you have to ensure your infrastructure is also up and running, right? So infrastructure is a very key component. Okay, and for delivering your, if you want to maintain your application 100%, so for that your server also has to be 100% uptime. Okay, so you need to follow the approaches which can make a 100% uptime. Okay, so these are the three key roles and responsibilities you'll be taking care of. So you'll be doing automation, and you'll be handling the infrastructure, and any operations you take care, you ensure that it happens in a very smooth manner. So that's how it is. Okay, so that's how you have the roles and responsibilities. So probably got some idea, and what is DevOps. And the next thing is okay, so you probably heard about something called as cloud. Okay, so what is cloud computing? So cloud computing is basically they provide just service, that's all. So best example for cloud everyone talks about is electricity. Okay, so what is electricity? So electricity, I'm not generating any electricity in my home. Okay, I'm not putting any generator, I haven't put any solar panels or something, so to generate my own electricity, but still I'm consuming it, I'm paying it how much I use it. Okay, that's the cloud. It's a service. Okay, they provide a lot of things as a service. Okay, they provide service, they provide servers, they provide databases, they provide they provide some analytic software. Okay, so yeah, so network related things, a lot of things they provide as a service, and you just consume and you pay how much you use it. But why? Okay, can't we do that in our own data center? Why do we need a vendor to do that? So probably the same example again, it goes back to the electricity. Can't you generate your own electricity? Yes, you can. Okay, but what is the problem? You have to ensure that you should always have the diesel or petrol, whatever your generator is having. You need to ensure that you keep it out there. And also the next thing is you have to take care of the maintenance of that particular generator, and also you have to take the 24/7 support of the person who monitors that, yeah, everything you have to take care, right? Isn't it a burden for you? Okay, whether you go to your home and after your day, once it is done, will you sleep, or will you worry about whether the petrol is there for running the electricity or kind of things? It's a funny, right? So yes, it's even the companies also. It is even the same case with the companies. So companies, the business is completely different, and so and if they are worrying about, so in order to run the business, so today any server is for any service, server is mandatory. Okay, so it doesn't matter whichever the business it is. You go to even the supermarket, so they need servers. Okay, so you go to the food stall, the servers are mandatory. Okay, so everywhere the servers became a mandatory thing, right? So that's how you need to run your servers up and running. And my business scope is something different, but I always need to go back and see that so my infra is fine or not. And the capital investment of infra is too much expensive. Okay, now going for a cloud computing, so you can just so think about these particular points, and your estimated cost will be okay, so will be reduced to 50%. Okay, so yeah. So let's say if I want 100 servers, if I go ahead and buy 100 servers, it almost costs you, let's say, like let's say, so 10 crores are kind of thing. And and after 3 years, that hardware you have to again replace the hardware, because the hardware life cycle goes only 3 to 5 years, and you have to change them because you need so robust speed. So then yeah, you have to change the hardware. So that is going to be a problem. So every 3 years, if you calculate, you will be reducing 50% of the cost. You are investing 10 crores in the first day. You don't need to invest 10 crores on the first day. So you'll be paying how much you use it, and you will end up only 5 crores of rupees. Okay, 5 crore rupees only to power your power your requirement. Okay, so that is what the advantage of cloud. And scalability, you'll be getting 100% scalability. Let's say today I need 100 servers, I have 100 servers, and tomorrow morning I need one more 100 servers. So if you are maintaining your own infra, that is 100% impossible. Okay, unless you already bought it and you are about to power it up. Okay, so the scalability is a very good need in cloud computing, and the productivity will be increased, your speed, no doubt, and performance, no doubt in that. And even the security point of view also, it is much more secure in using the cloud technologies. Okay, so that's where people are thinking. Even the banking sector, so while I was working with JP Morgan, so we have Amazon Web Services, so thinking about the banking, so they might not go with cloud computing, but so you have to think about a couple of other things like scalability. Even it is a burden for so $1 trillion companies even. Okay, and you need to worry about speed of the operations. Let's say I want the server, so in those companies, you need to talk to so many people. Your request should be approved by your manager, and the manager will, and the request goes to some other so sales team, or I mean to say like not sales team, procurement team, and they will procure the hardware, and it gets shipped. It takes ages. Might by the time in today's speed in the market, the resource who requested it, he might leave the company even. Okay, so yeah, so a lot of things are there. So companies need to evolve, so transform is what is needed. Okay, now there are three types of cloud providers. Okay, I can say, or you can say like cloud services will be usually in three verticals. Okay, so one is infrastructure as a service, IaaS, so which you take servers, storages, and things like that. Okay, and you install your own software inside that, so that is infrastructure. Whereas a platform, okay, so what is a platform? Platform could be something like a best example could be Oracle database. Okay, so you will be let's say if you go for a Oracle database and a platform, and then what you are going to get is you're going to get the software immediately ready, and what you need to do, you need to create the database, and after that you need to maintain your database and things like that. So some database activities you will be taking care. And there are the SaaS services also which is available, and you don't need to do anything at all. So let's say even you take the Oracle database, so you don't need to create that database and things like that. It's everything is a self-service, and you just create that. You just go and click, create the database, and you use it. And in the back end, they maintain your database. They ensure your database gets backed up properly, and they ensure that your data is safe. Okay, kind of approach. So those are IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Okay, platform is basically they provide a platform. You have to build your blocks. And whereas infrastructure is everything you have to build up from scratch, and whereas software as a service is a very costly one, so which just everything used as a consumes as a service. Okay, so that is how yeah, so three types of cloud services you have. And the vendors, if you talk about, so this is the screenshot has been taken from RightScale in 2018 report. Okay, it's not, I didn't make this. So it's a public cloud adoption in the market. And if you see there, it is going to be AWS is having more, Azure, Google Cloud, IBM followed with. So your AWS is leading. And there are two things you can see. In 2018, they are comparing with the light blue down section, and 2018 they are showing that so in a dark color. So you can see every cloud vendor has increased. Okay, so back in just 1 year. Okay, so and it grows usually. Okay, now you should understand that so cloud and DevOps are so if you want to run your smoother business, it has to start from scratch, and the scratch will be done through cloud. Okay, in a very smooth manner. So earlier, if I want to install a server, I need to buy a hardware, and I need to put a CD or some network installations. I need to create a server, and finally so after 1 day or 2 day efforts, I'll get the server up and running, and whoever has requested that server, they will use it. But today, in less than 30 seconds, you will get a server with all your requirements. So that is what is happening. Okay, and to make that particular things happen, okay, so your bare basis, okay, so of the infrastructure, so it should be automated. In that particular automation, so cloud is really required. So the DevOps, even to make this operation smoother, so DevOps is about delivering your product in a very smooth manner. To deliver my product in a very smooth manner, okay, so I'll just go ahead and create some servers, install some software, and I'll deploy my application. So if I don't have that kind of automated approach from my hardware, it's going to be a difficult thing. So again, my DevOps process or the DevOps deliverables will go down. So that is going to be a problem. So here, cloud and the DevOps are two independent things, but but cannot be, okay. So now in today's requirement, you cannot split them and see. So those has become as those has become integrated approach in every of the company. So cloud and DevOps has become such a manner. Okay, so you require, without DevOps, cloud is no use, obviously, and without cloud, DevOps also, okay, probably would lead to would lead to so much impact in your delivery. Okay, so those are two important factors to deliver your applications in a very fast manner. Okay, so those are now unbreakable. Okay, so they are now together. Fine. And but which cloud actually, as I mentioned, so as you see the diagram, as I mentioned, I didn't make this particular one. So so you see the statistics of the market, and you see obviously the AWS is waiting more in the market, and yeah, that is the reason actually our syllabus is also is about talking about Amazon Web Services. Okay, so what we started, so we started before DevOps, what is there, and we talked about what is DevOps, and DevOps with the cloud we have talked about. And the next agenda is, okay, so what are the tools which we are going to discuss, and what are the cloud services which we are going to discuss. But before to that, okay, let's go on. Most of the people would be worried over here about the trend in the market. Okay, so I mean trend in the sense like, so if they learn this particular course, whether there are any openings, whether there are enough salaries to survive in this particular market, a kind of lot of questions comes into in your mind. Okay, so I would like to get everything from the in the statistics from the internet. I don't want to tell anything here. So even my complete course is designed in such a way that whichever the tool is demand in the market, I will pick up that only. Okay, so whichever is not in demand, I'll just cut them off. Okay, so that is how every time, every couple of, I mean, after every couple of batches, my syllabus usually changes. Okay, because I have to evolve and I have to deliver the same thing to you. Okay, so now coming to this on the demand in the market. So most probably everyone should have a question mark. Is it really worth learning this particular course, or do I have really openings? So no one is going to stop you. You can just go to naukri.com in India, which is a famous one, and I'll just go ahead and give DevOps. I'll just put DevOps, okay, as an engineer, but still I can put only DevOps. On the left side, you'll be having how many number of jobs are there which are available. So here you can see on the salary prospect, I would like to tell you. So these are, you can see this. So yeah, so you can see here so your salary is very decent actually, so based on your experience and based on the experience they have given anywhere. No, they are not given, but salary, yeah, salary perspective, you just have a look. Okay, so you see that DevOps is one of the highly paid domain in the market. Okay, no doubt in that. I know that, and I'm getting that. Okay, so that's how. Okay, so DevOps is. Indeed.com, earlier they used to give trends, but Indeed.com/job trends, but they have closed this particular website now. So that was earlier. I used to show the Indeed.com analytics here. So DevOps is one of the one which was leading the market all the time. Okay, followed by data science. Okay, so yeah, so job wise, you don't need to worry about. So you can see that I just typed it. At least you have 5,200. Forget about 5,200. At least 1,000 will be the recent one in past 1 or 2 months. Okay, so yeah, so there is a lot of demand in the market, but the skill is not matching. So the only thing you need to think about that is skill. And while coming to the AWS DevOps, okay, so coming to the DevOps is fine, but we are here for AWS DevOps, and so even the salary increases actually here. And so salaries, if you had observed, okay, I could have been tuned a little bit much. Okay, so yeah, AWS DevOps is going to have a cloud DevOps in general. If I just give, it doesn't matter with any of the cloud. We're talking about yeah, you see this only DevOps. How much I'm getting? How many jobs I'm getting? You're getting 5,200. And if I just go for including with cloud, okay, and companies might expect, some companies might expect Azure, some companies might expect Google, whatever it is. We are learning AWS, that's fine. And if you just go for there, you're getting 1,400 jobs more for cloud, including cloud for DevOps. Okay, so that is how the business, the demand is there in the market. Okay, so trends wise, you don't need to worry about. So now, so if I put one more question, so why DevOps is our top jobs from top IT jobs in USA. Say somewhere Glassdoor, if you just take, you can see this Glassdoor. Yeah, so Glassdoor again back in 2000, from past almost 4 years, Glassdoor is giving this particular best jobs things. And here the first one is data science. So no match for data science. Data science is highly paid, but not the one course which you learn over here. So it requires a PhD in statistics. So definitely you'll be getting, hey, who is this? Hey, it's mine only, I think. Sorry, some ad. Okay, so here, yeah, data science, no match with the data science, no problem. I mean here, but the second one always goes is DevOps engineer. It's happening from almost 4 years. Okay, highly paid job in USA is DevOps guy. Probably everyone knows this Glassdoor. Okay, so I'm not giving anything from my side. It's a Glassdoor survey, all right? And yeah, so I think the analytics, so the job wise, and even Forbes.com actually given, I probably, the DevOps. So Forbes has given, as a scope actually, why there is a, why there is a big money in fast software. Forbes.com has given, at least everyone knows what is Forbes, what they do, right? So here they have given, so your DevOps is going to get into $1 billion market by 2025 somewhere. Yeah. So here, predictions of DevOps market size ranges from 8.8 billion back in 2013 to 12.85 billion market. Okay, so by 2025, and the growth rate is going to be 19% by at least by 2020 in 2 years. Okay, this is what their prediction by seeing the market trends actually. Okay, so that's how so your DevOps is so demand in the market, no doubt in that. Okay, so yeah. So trends wise, no one has to worry about anything. Okay, so you have a bright future over here. But the only thing you have to do is you have to, so skill up your knowledge. That's all. Okay, so that's the only thing I would expect from your side. The rest of the things I will take care, no problem. Okay, and finally, what are the tools which we are going to discuss? Okay, we usually start with Linux with shell scripting and followed with a project. Okay, so here we do want to take care everything through a project. So without a project, okay, so learning DevOps is a funny thing. So if you don't integrate the tools from one tool to another tool, so there is no use of learning this particular DevOps. Okay, yes, you can get a lot of these particular tools in Udemy or somewhere in the YouTube, but individually. But you don't know how can you integrate your Jenkins with Git or GitHub or Maven or Kubernetes, okay, or some monitoring. You probably will not know that. So that is the challenge, and those integrations we'll try to cover over here. And the tools wise, okay, so we'll start with Linux with shell scripting and with some project. In the project, we'll cover a web server, application server, database server, and even load balancers. We'll try to cover those things, and we'll move through automations using Ansible and followed with Git and GitHub. Not GitHub. Oh, I made a mistake. It's a GitLab. Okay, the tool which we are going to talk about is GitLab or GitHub. Anything is fine, but still GitLab. It's my mistake. And so followed with a very big tool which is Jenkins. So Jenkins is a very bigger one, and yeah, so it's a bigger one in our course completely. So we talk about not only the freestyle jobs basically, but we want to replicate the real time, and the real time uses Jenkins code, Groovy scripting, Jenkins pipelines. Okay, so Jenkins, Jenkins code we are going to talk about majorly, and we'll do the Jenkins code. Okay, it's not like freestyle project, click, click, clicks, no. Okay, so we do it in a much matured way, and we talk about Maven, Gradle, okay, Sonar, Nexus in that particular area. Even some of the tools are there which I have not included, like Selenium we'll be talking about. So most of the some of the other things like Jira, okay, we'll talk about Confluence. We'll just consume those services. Okay, we'll really not talk about much of those things, but we'll consume those, and we will ensure our product delivery happens in every manner, in every way happens in a very smooth manner. Okay, so some other tools are there. I haven't listed it here, but still, okay, we'll be talking about more. I just highlighted here on the highly talked to, I mean, the tools which we talk in more. Okay, there are even some tools which which I haven't listed here. That's fine. Okay, and finally, so today's market is actually happening on okay, containerization. So most of the people are moving into containerized world. Okay, so yeah, here you have a Docker and one of the orchestration tool which is famous, which is Kubernetes. Our scope is completely Kubernetes, not Docker. So we'll talk about the Kubernetes, and we'll do the complete CI/CD deployments and everything. Okay, inside Kubernetes. Okay, and finally, we're going to talk about New Relic monitoring, which is one of the monitoring service. And so how do you monitor your servers and the processes and things like that, and the log monitoring also, so which is ELK monitoring. But most of these services we'll talk about initially as a tool, and we will adapt some of the services inside our Amazon Web Services. Okay, so we just go for networking services like VPC, subnet, internet gateway, NAT gateways, routes, route tables, and firewalls, security groups. Okay, we'll talk about in the networking part. On the server part, we'll talk about EC2 and Elastic Beanstalk and Elastic Kubernetes service. Okay, so I told Kubernetes over here, so that means I am going to consume the service. Initially, I'll show you how do you set up your own Kubernetes cluster, and I'll show you how hard it is, and eventually end up with so taking you to EKS, things like that. Okay, and there are some storage related things which are EBS, EFS, and S3. We'll talk about those things, and some of the development services like code deploy, code commit, code build, code pipeline, and even code star. Also, we can talk about that. Okay, so a couple of other services, and even we talk about IAM roles and Lambda functions. So to deliver our product in a smooth manner. So we'll talk about that. And even we will launch this particular so Amazon Web Services in an automated way using Terraform. Okay, so Terraform also will be talking about in the cloud perspective. Okay, so these are the list of tools which we are going to talk about in our sessions altogether, and even some of them are more out there. You can go through the syllabus. I probably have explained there. Okay, so yeah, and finally, before concluding, so what are the services which we offer as a part of this particular course is we provide the lifetime video recordings for your practice. Okay, so no restriction in the time perspective, and whereas the content which we which I make during the sessions, like would you take some shell scripting or some Jenkins files, so we'll deliver you at the end of the session itself, okay, through online. So no problem with that for your practice. And even you can talk directly to me through a Slack channel, no WhatsApp group or something. We'll go technically only. So Slack channel is there, and where you can talk to me directly, and you can talk to me directly in the sense in the technical perspective. Okay, so yeah, so for technical queries while you're practicing, we'll have a Slack channel here, and yes, we'll talk on that. Okay, we can interact. Okay, and it's a good thing there. It's a good tool, by the way. Okay, and finally, yeah, so question and queries if anyone is having any. Okay, Q&A session. So for one request, you can go through, you can put your question either in the chat, okay, or else you can unmute yourself and you can talk. Yeah.
Hi Raghu. Hi. Good morning.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Tell me. Yes, I'm able to hear
actually,
you.
I want to know one thing. Actually, I am background is okay. I'm working. I'm bit of
Your background is sorry. Your voice has been broken. Your background is
system admin. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm working as a AWS also. I think
Okay.
as a initial thing, creating instances and VPC, that kind of things I know. ES3 bucket, EBS, okay. I think I don't know about completely coding, okay. Even I don't know what about objects and classes and all, okay. Are you getting? Are you hearing?
Yeah, yeah. Please complete your question.
How I suitable about think this course? I think I am able to learn or not. I don't know even complete coding. Even I don't know self scripting also.
Yeah. So first thing first, you don't need to be a developer to complete this course. So development is a
Yeah,
different job, and you will not
yeah,
do that development here.
yeah,
And the
yeah.
coding perspective, you have to do the coding. So without coding, you cannot survive in the market. Even though it is hard for you, you have to digest it in order to survive it in the future. Okay. So start from the shell scripting, and what all is needed, I will teach you. No problem.
I think what scratch from I will start the learning coding. That
Yes.
where I
Yeah.
need to start the
Yes.
coding and things, basic
Yeah.
things.
I already mentioned, so you no need to worry about technical perspective. I will take care of everything. Okay, bringing you from scratch to whatever is needed. But the only thing I expect from whoever, whoever is listening, going through the classes, I expect only one thing from you is a practice. Okay, so without practice, these things will not. These tools you will not understand. Okay, the only thing, yes, I expect you is practice. The rest of the things I will take care. You don't need to worry about whether you know the coding or you don't know the coding. Whatever I teach, you practice and you come to the next session, you'll be definitely able to follow.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions from anyone? I see a couple of questions in the chat, and the course duration someone asked. And so here it is. Yeah, how long is this a course? This course is going to be for planned for 8 weeks. Probably due to some festivals and all, probably will not be able to. So assume that so 2 months, 10 days kind of thing. Okay, so that is what the idea is. And yeah, even someone who don't have experience on Linux, no problem. So we'll start from the scratch, and we will go through that. Okay, that's fine. And how many days a week? 6 days a week we're going to have the session, and probably by going at the ending, okay, so probably we might hit some Sundays also, 2 to 3 Sundays also we might put. That I cannot tell at this particular point of time, so that depends upon how the batch is going on. Sometimes you'll get more questions, we'll get some delay. So just to cover that particular time, so we'll just put it in Sunday, but not like so 4 to 5 hours or 3 to 4 hours in a Sunday and completing one topic. No, I don't like that way. So you have to eat every day. So that means the same basic funda. You cannot eat, so 1 week food in one day. So the same, I take in a very basic way. We'll go in a regular ways only. So even on the Sunday, so only very minimal things, and we'll give you time for practice. And so you don't need to have any technology for learning DevOps. I will be taking care of everything. But whoever is coming from sysadmin background, database background, QA background, and build and release background, okay, or middleware background, those guys are 100% welcome without any hesitation. But other people might be okay a bit difficult for understanding the business. Once you understand the business and what we are doing, it's nothing much. Okay, so even this is not a rocket science, I believe. Okay, so that is one thing. And do you help in marketing jobs? No one needs marketing here. You can market yourself by putting the resume in the Naukri. The only thing people expect is knowledge from you. Okay, so yes, you have to um, you know be in a position to answer the questions which is going to come up. All right, and the next one is
Yes, sir.
yeah, 1 minute.
I
I'll just
don't have
complete.
knowledge on that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, whoever doesn't have knowledge on this particular one also are suitable, but if you look for the volume of the jobs, I mean the people applying for the jobs is this way. Some people will put some fake kind of experience and take care, and some people will try to be a fresher and like learning this course. So for a freshers, the volume is going to be definitely small, and even the same naukri.com, if you just go for here, so you can just see here salary. They haven't given the experience, right? Yeah, I can just go ahead and put like, so 0 year experience and such. Probably your volume is very less. You see this 177. But the good experience time is, so 4 years or 3 to 4 years. If you put, you'll see decent amount of jobs. So yeah, coming back to the question, for a fresher, the volume is less, and there'll be very rare option. So in my personal experience, I will not prefer an experienced guy. I always go ahead and recruit the freshers, and I will train them. So because there are different reasons. Okay, my personal perspective is, if I hire a fresher and he will start from um, what I need, and I will ask them to do that, and they will do that way only. So if it is coming from another background, so the persons, always the question comes, why don't we do this way, that way, kind of thing. Okay, so that's still, I don't take 100% freshers, but so it's balancing the thing. So yeah, coming to the same question, so some people are there who are interested in taking the freshers, and some people will not be there, so you'll be having a less market.
Okay.
And yeah, so AWS part is, yes, on a project we're talking about, you will come to know complete AWS is not possible for anyone. Okay, AWS, if you go for there, so there are 100 services. Okay, we don't need all those services. And what are all needed for the DevOps related things and infra related things, we'll talk about those things. And
What about the Linux? I don't have knowledge on Linux.
I already answered the question. So Linux you don't require. I will help you on that. And so the next question is, any help to certifications?
Hi.
Okay, very good question. And coming to the certifications, so if you are doing some consulting marketing, so that means like people like in USA, they'll not go for permanent jobs majorly, they'll go for consulting jobs. And while you're doing consulting jobs, if you want to market your profile, you require certifications. But in Indian market, most of the jobs would be permanent jobs, and you don't require any certifications. Okay, and we don't prefer any certifications wasting your time or getting around that particular certification. So because having a certification doesn't improve or doesn't prove that you have knowledge, might improve your scope in applying the jobs, that's all. That doesn't improve in your knowledge. Or improve knowledge is also okay, because you're reading something for certification, that is fine, but that doesn't prove anything that you know everything. No, I don't have any certification, because my first manager, whenever I started as a fresher back in 2008, he clearly told me, when I started as a fresher, there are 10 Linux admins, and I'm the only person who doesn't have certification, yet he recruited me. Okay, so and some people were so shown that I have been Red Hat certified. Clearly, he has told, okay, certification doesn't mean you know everything. Okay, so yes, and I
Yeah, Raghu, that's question from my side only. This is Gopinath. Actually, the thing is, while not only for the showcasing myself for the for getting the new opportunity in the existing company, I can get more increments while I'm showing this. I did this certification through my goals.
I'll not give any increment to my report is whoever does the certification. Okay. So
Your perspective is that like that, but it is not like that. You see, I already kept my goals in to do the certification, because to fulfill that, are you supporting any kind of suggestions or any help for that?
that's what I'm telling you. Okay, so no need. Okay, so yes, in your yearly performance things, you have just mentioned that you want to do the certification. So will that really you did the certification and it doesn't did any business value? Why would I give you a high? I will not, right? So you have to show
No, no,
me.
no. No,
No.
actually, while you are one more thing I want to say, while the company itself showcasing their resources to the clients, they can show these are the certified persons we
If you are
have.
in a,
Like that, they
if you
are
are in a
also doing,
service
right?
sector, if you are in a service sector, that's what I told you,
Yep.
right, already. If you are in a
Yeah, I'm in service
consulting
sector only.
business,
Actually. Yep.
if
Yeah,
you are in a, let me
I'm
complete.
in that only. Yeah.
Let me. If you are in a consulting business, I started with that point only. Okay, if you are in a
Okay.
consulting business, if your company is doing consulting, definitely you might need. Okay,
Mm,
so but
mm.
if you are from product, and most of the consulting companies will not have DevOps jobs. So DevOps jobs will be more for product-based companies, because they make
Product.
the
Yeah.
product,
Yep. Yeah.
right? So we don't require, and I don't encourage. That's what I'm clearly telling you. Okay, if
Mm.
you have certificate, Don't put your collar, a little bit up and say that I'm certified. No, it is of no use. Rather than use the time to learn another tool, okay, which will definitely get your job at some point of time, give you more exposure. Okay, so that is really good thing. Yes, in consulting business, you do require it. You go ahead and do that. There is nothing wrong. If company is offering, why do you waste that money? Just go ahead and do that. I'm not stopping you. But whoever is really not needed, really not. I don't have any certification at all in my career. Yet I'm here. Okay, so doesn't require.
Yeah.
That's good to hear, Raghu. Raghu, it's Murli. Raghu, I have a question. So it's been around 6+ years I've been in the IT industry. So if I learn this session, I mean this course, DevOps or AWS, so how can I climb my experience? Can I showcase the same 6 years of experience in the AWS or DevOps?
You
Then
might
it would
not.
be the higher expectations, right?
Yeah, you might not. You have to cut it into. So this course, if you complete, so definitely if you are able to deliver what I have teased, so then you are definitely you can keep like 4 years or 3 to 4 years, definitely without any hesitation. But you should be in a position to deliver what I'm teaching. So that's what is
Okay.
needed. Yeah.
Okay. So
That
I
is not
can
a
the rest of.
that is not an easy task. Okay, whatever I'm delivering, you want to be delivering that. It takes time. Okay, if you put a good roadmap, I want to. So people put a very beautiful goals and they miss to lead that particular path. Okay, or miss the path to lead to that particular goal. Okay, yes, your goal is to get a job into DevOps, and so by when I'm expecting, you have to put a yourself goal and you have to reach there. And how many months you want to practice with a discipline will give you the job. Okay, so only the course I don't think so. Anyone. If someone is giving you wrong, false promises, also, whoever is listening, it's up to you. But only completing the course, any of the course, you'll not be able to get the job. You have to practice. You have to understand it. You should be in a position, or you should be in a confidence. Yes, I know it, and you crack the interviews. Obviously, it happens that way. Okay, so I
Yes.
told probably it might be today I told 5,000 words. If I ask someone to repeat those 5,000 words, probably no one will be here to repeat the same words, right? So it's not will not happen that way. Yeah. So putting a good goal and good time with discipline will definitely get your job. So most of the people I see, so I'll be having 25% of 25% will be there usually for a batch. Okay, so more sometimes, and by end of the sessions it is always narrowing down, so probably you'll find out 10 to 15% only. Okay, the other 10% are escaped. Okay, so due to different reasons, they have their personal related things, their jobs, they have to manage, they go through the recordings. That's a different situation, but discipline is so important. And yeah, you no need to worry about on that particular experience part. You cannot keep 6 years, but I don't say that you don't keep, you cannot keep, but you need a little bit more exposure outside. Okay, not only the tools, only the 2 months tools, I cannot teach everything. So there are even other things, okay, which are out there, which you have to grab the things. Okay, so you have to learn them too on your own. But at least this is the core area. I'll try to give the very good basement, and you can build the blocks on top of that.
Yes. I heard that the Python is required for this combination. Is this correct?
Really, no. 4 years back, while I was working on Oracle, I'm a very big Python expert actually. But today, I forget even how to write, how to pass the values to the function even. Okay, so because I'm not using it, so it all depends upon business. Okay, you cannot say that only Python is needed, or only shell scripting is needed, or only Ruby scripting is. It all depends upon. That's what
Yeah.
I give you a very good basement, and from there you have to build up the blocks. Python is one of the one. It's only one of the one. It's not the whole one.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
And we'll try to cover some at least. If you are good with shell scripting, you can go for any other scripting. Doesn't if you are really good at shell scripting. Okay, so one scripting knowledge is fine to start into scripting, and shell scripting is the right one, and which gives you the other scripting learning is much easier. That's fine, no problem.
Yeah, Raghu, one more query. For practice purpose, what is the way we can do in future in coming classes? Are you providing through online or we can do from my personal computer, something like that? I have to do.
Yeah, good question. I didn't concluded that. So here we are talking about Amazon Web Services, and the complete project is on Amazon Web Services. So you have to spend some amount from your pocket, probably $10 to $20, not more than that, around 1,000 rupees. Okay, so and you have to use Amazon Web Services of your own account. Okay, so yeah, that is what it is. And I will tell you the methods where you can minimal your, where you can minimally spend the amount. Okay, we'll talk about those strategies anyhow in the sessions, but at least that amount you have to spend, because you're learning the technology, you have to invest on that, no other option.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
do you
Thanks,
conduct
Raghu. Yeah.
And even your
classroom?
PCs are not, even if you are having 16 GB RAM is also not enough to, if you enter, going, I mean, we are going the course tool by tool. At a certain point, our PCs are also not enough actually to handle that much load. Okay, as I mentioned, so automation is the scope, and so without cloud, DevOps doesn't make sense. Even using your own PC, you will not feel that particular project, so doing in a real time. So if you want to feel that,
Oh,
have to be on the cloud side.
okay.
Now everything will be on the web page, right? No need to install on anything on the personal PC.
Nothing. A couple of tools will be there to connecting. That's all. Very small tools.
Okay. Because I'm using my the office PC, that's the reason it won't allow me to install anything.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Raghu, conducting classroom training? Sorry.
No, we have only online.
Okay.
And the classroom will not work out. Most of the people, they feel the classroom training is much better. And at least
Yeah.
I will not say other courses, will not talk about others, but especially for DevOps, classroom training is a 0% outcome. I can say that. Okay, because I tried, I know it, and and I stopped it because it's of no use. End of the day, you will not be able to get anything. Okay, but especially why I'm telling you that particular point is here we're just going to give you the videos for your practice. Okay, if you want to note down each and every point what I'm talking and whatever each and every option I'm clicking, it is very difficult. You waste your time, and I don't encourage doing two tasks at the same time. So you come to the class, listen the session properly, and ask the questions in anywhere the process you are unable to understand. That's really good. And once after you're done, go ahead and freely watch the video and practice it parallelly. So that gives you more more learning.
No, actually, I am asking about. I think I am not friendly with the online training. Okay, how much I think we understand or not, I don't know.
So go through the couple of sessions. So probably
Better to face to face in the classroom. That's right. Any doubt and whatever it may be, if we're talking face to face, there's a better to learn from classroom, right?
demo session I haven't allowed you to talk in between, but the regular sessions we are free to talk. And it's up. I mean, again, I'm not here to convince you as an experienced guy. I'm telling you that is not the right approach, at least in the DevOps area. Even you feel interaction is good, but really the outcome is zero. You feel at that particular point of time you will be satisfied, but end of the time you will not be. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So any other questions? But anyhow, by the way, career IT is completely into online trainings. We don't have classroom.
Fees? What about fee structure?
So you, if you provide the details to Lakshmi, so Lakshmi will come back to you, Lakshmi or Vijaya, if you have put your details on the chat, so they will come back to you and update you everything.
After the completion course, can you support about job and all thing? What are just supporting kind of things? I think where we need how to face that thing, those kind of interviews and all.
Interview facing is not a rocket science. That's what I told you. So if I'm only expecting you from your side is a practice. If you practice, if you have a knowledge, why do you worry about the interview? Okay, so you will not.
Even a lot of I think freshers and experienced guys failing even saying the self introduction, right? You are not even going technical
Have to
round.
practice. Okay, don't sleep. I don't worry whether you sleep it or not. I expect the outcome, right? So you do that. So 18 hours, 20 hours, you do it. Why you'll not get it? You'll get it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Raghu,
Raghu,
sorry.
so on this side.
Go ahead.
Hi everyone. Someone is asking about the session timings. The batch will be starting from Monday. The timings are from 6 to 7 a.m. IST. We'll be sharing all the details along with the timings and even recorded session also. So please everyone do check your mails for the updates. If anyone hasn't provided your details, please provide so that we can share you the details of the batch along with the link. Thank you.
Thanks, Raghu. Thanks, Lakshmi.
Yeah. So any other questions which I have not answered? Most of the questions I think I have answered. So
Raghu, I want to ask one question only.
yeah, please.
If any project I need like technical help for a small time, so can I get some?
So as I mentioned, so we're going to have a Slack channel. I'm probably not aware whether you are aware of a tool called as Slack.
After training also Slack is there, right?
It is still there. It's live from almost 1 year. It's still there and it will be
Okay.
It's not only for your batch, it's common channel.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
So yes, the project is going to be completely on the live project only. Yes, without a project, learning this course is of no use. As I already mentioned, we are going to take care with a project. Okay, so that is what. And so freshers, Vishnu, I already mentioned that this it might narrow down, but I cannot say you don't have any. If you are able to prove, there are definitely people who can give you a chance. Okay, so there are jobs, but very less.
Hi Raghu, this is Shiva.
Yes, Shiva.
Yeah, Raghu, I've been working as a Linux admin for the past 4 years, okay, with a consulting firm. The thing is, we are not exposed to any kind of shell scripting and all, and I do not have any previous knowledge about it also. I'm just a pure Linux administrator. So
in 2018, you're coming and saying that you don't know shell scripting working as a Linux administrator. I can say that you're not concentrating anything on improving your career. Don't take it wrong, but that's true. Yeah. So yeah. I will try to, I will try to cover you the shell scripting and what all the things is required. So let me give you my YouTube, videos of shell scripting to you. Let me bring them. So at least in the 2 days, you can go through some shell scripting. It's not big deal. Shell scripting.
yeah, Raghu. So to add to my question, the thing is, you'll be covering this course with the project, right? So would it be helpful in an interview perspective, or is it knowledge oriented? Yeah, of course it will be a knowledge oriented one, but will you walk through us with the interview perspective questionnaire and all?
Interview and knowledge are not two different things actually. So both are related. Okay. So if you have knowledge, you don't need to worry about the interview.
While you are while we are moving through the project at the points, what all the important points that can be put to us, I mean the questions that can be put to us on this project, would you
So
be
in yesterday's class, we were talking about. Who is interrupting? Yeah. So So to the same question again for your question. So that don't take only certain points as important. Take everything as important. So which will help you in gaining the knowledge. Okay. So if you take only one thing, I don't encourage that way. So, but definitely, anyhow, I'll be explaining you in the sessions in the middle. You might get this way in the interview, but still, so you better go through everything and you treat everything as important. Because I cannot say that, you go for 10 interviews. I cannot say everyone asks you the same question. It's not like, your 10th class textbook, right?
No. I'm just asking about the basic points that can be touched by an interviewer if you put this project in a resume, right?
Yeah, those points will be anyhow. It's a technical points again. Okay, so those technical things we'll be covering in the sessions.
So since I have experience of 4 years, can I break it up into 2 years and can I get through with keeping it as 2 years of DevOps experience, or
So
how should I be planning on it?
can you get through? I cannot guarantee because I don't know whether you practice and you come to the interview
Yeah.
and things like that. Okay, I cannot. But yes, if you can keep, yes, the answer is yes. You can keep the 3 to 4 years of experience for this course at least if you practice completely and you if you are in a position to deliver completely.
Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions from anyone? And I have posted the YouTube channel, by the way, for shell scripting if you want to learn. As you mentioned, you didn't know shell scripting, so yeah, you can go through that. Any other questions? Okay, all right. If no questions, so you can talk to Lakshmi if you have anything. So I'm dropping off. So yeah, so meet you on Monday. Monday, the trainings is going to be 6 a.m. in the morning. If some of the people who are ever is working and they don't get time on weekdays and they want to plan it on weekends, so you can still let us know. We have a plan of starting the weekend batches also. But anyhow, we will. That is not 100% assurance from our side. But if the decent amount of students are coming through, so definitely we'll start a weekend batch too. And yeah, so for the working persons also, it would be useful for some people. All right, thank you. Have a great weekend, and see you on Monday. Bye.
Hi everyone. Yeah, we are going to have the batch from Monday. The timings are from 6 to 7 a.m. IST. Even we are planning for the weekend sessions also for the people whomever, okay, it is not possible for the weekdays. So for any other details, please do contact us on the numbers which we have provided 8297282977 or 91600 40789. Okay, you can see our details in the video. So please do contact us for the more details. And we do have AWS demo tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So people whomever are interested, please contact us for the link so that we can share the link for the tomorrow's AWS demo. Thank you.
This conference will now be recorded.